Most people think crying over small things is a weakness, but psychology says the exact opposite. If your eyes fill up at the chorus of a song, at an ordinary commercial, or at someone's kind question, science doesn't say you're overly emotional or weak. On the contrary, it shows you have a much deeper mental connection that most people simply don't have. And this works very differently than you'd expect. Now, we're going to look at 5 different moments where you live this. Write in the comments how many of them you've felt, especially the 5th one is the strangest. And a lot of people recognize themselves there for the first time. You're in the car, that song you've heard 100 times is playing. But right at that chorus, you feel a weight in your chest, a lump in your throat, a burning in your eyes, and the lyrics have absolutely nothing to do with your life. Your brain, without you ever noticing, is constantly trying to predict the next note in the background. Then suddenly what you expected doesn't happen. The key changes, a new melody enters, a deep space opens up, and your brain reacts at that exact moment of the break. But here's the real thing. This reaction isn't the same intensity in everyone. When researchers examined the brains of people who get chills or teary from music, they found a much stronger neural connection between the center that processes sound and the center that processes emotion. So there's an extra line running inside you, and that line doesn't only kick in with music. That's exactly why the second moment happens. You're watching a commercial. An old man is calling his grandchild. The grandchild doesn't pick up. Just 30 seconds. The person next to you is looking at their phone, feeling nothing. But you sitting right there, your eyes fill up. Then you get angry at yourself. Am I really crying at this? Here's what's strange. The simpler the scene, the harder your reaction hits. A 3-hour heavy drama doesn't shake you, but a 30-second simple commercial can tear you apart. Because your brain isn't just watching the story on the screen, it catches the emotion underneath it. Something lost, a moment arrived too late, a love that found no answer. The fewer the details, the more naked that emotion stays in your mind. The person next to you only sees the commercial, but you feel that deep emptiness underneath. So why do you stand firm against harshness but lose to the smallest tenderness? The third moment explains exactly this. Nobody treated you badly. On the contrary, someone just asked you, "Are you okay?" Or a small helping hand reached out when you least expected it. And right at that second, your eyes filled up. Have you ever noticed this? When someone yells at you, you immediately put your guard up, you put on your armor. When a heavy word is spoken, your face doesn't even change, but the smallest kindness shatters that armor in a single second, because harshness demands defense. When your guard is up, nothing gets in, nothing gets out. But kindness doesn't demand defense. It cracks the door open. And when that door cracks open, it's not just that moment's feeling that comes out. Whatever has piled up for years all tries to spill out at once. The person who asked, "Are you okay?" asked a very small question, but inside you was an enormous answer you were tired of carrying. So why didn't you live it and finish it back then? Why do you store it up? The fourth moment shows this, and there, the issue isn't even about your own troubles anymore. Your friend is telling you something, their own problem, nothing to do with you. As you listen, a stone settles on your chest. While they're calmly telling it, your eyes fill up. Then you feel guilty about it because the pain isn't yours, and you feel like you've stolen it from them. Psychologists call this empathic resonance, meaning your mind doesn't just settle for understanding what the other person feels. Your body reacts as if it's living that event itself. That's why some people get hit with an indescribable exhaustion when they leave a crowded place. Nobody did anything to them. They just stood in that room and carried a piece of everyone's emotional weight. While most people only carry the weight of their own life, you're being fed from 2 different sources without realizing what you feel yourself and what you pick up from everyone around you. Now let's get to the real question. Where does all this accumulated weight flow? The 5th moment is the answer. A hard and draining day ended. The exam finished, the fight ended, or you walked out of the hospital. And right at the moment, you relax and say it's all over, and alone in the car, in the shower, or in bed when you turn off the lights with no visible reason at all. So your eyes fill up. Stop here and think. In that big moment of crisis, you stood firm. You didn't cry. You cried after everything was over. This isn't a coincidence. And the moment you understand this, the other 4 moments will fall into place too. There's an invisible waiting line inside your mind. Everything you felt during the day but didn't live in that moment enters this line. The anger you swallowed in a meeting, a message left unanswered, that worry you pushed down, that sadness you took from your friend. None of it disappears. All of it waits in line. And this line doesn't empty on its own. It only opens the door when it finds a safe moment, when the danger has passed, when the car goes quiet, when you're completely alone in the shower. In the middle of the hard moment, your mind was trying to survive and manage the situation. That's why your body waited. And the moment the danger passed, that break inside you opened the door wide. You're not losing control. This feeling comes the moment you safely let go of control. The two are completely different things. Now look at the first 4 moments again. That song you listened to was a door. The 30-second commercial was a door. That compassionate question, your friend's story. None of these were the cause. They were all just doors. So why is that waiting line so full? Because you didn't create that line. It was taught to you. Think about it. Who was the first person who told you, don't cry when you were a child? Probably when your knee was bleeding or when someone broke your heart, the answer you got was, it's nothing. Pull yourself together. There's nothing to cry about. That sentence didn't fly away. It turned into a rule inside. Don't show your emotion now. Postpone it. You grew up, but the rule stayed inside. In your subconscious, nobody tells you don't cry from the outside anymore. You're doing it to yourself, and every time you leave it for later, you add a new weight to that line. Years later, that line gets so foolish that even a simple 30-second commercial is enough to blow the lid off. When people see someone like you, they usually say, you feel too much, but research shows something else. The issue isn't the intensity of the emotion you feel, it's the duration. In most people, an emotion rises, reaches a peak, and scatters within a few hours. But in you, it doesn't scatter. You replay that conversation in your head at night. You take someone's look with you to bed. You remember a moment from 3 years ago and live that same chest tightness all over again. You don't feel more than others. You carry that feeling for much longer, and everything that lasts long piles up. Your body confirms this too. The tears you shed in emotional moments aren't the same as the tears that flow while chopping onions. Their chemical structure is different. They directly carry stress hormones. So crying isn't weakness, it's your body's way of releasing pressure, that strange lightness that settles over you after crying. That's the reason. The problem outside hasn't been solved, but the pressure inside has finally been released. Crying isn't falling apart. It's bringing the inside back into balance. In fact, you even have silent defense methods you've developed without realizing: grabbing your phone when an emotional scene comes on, cracking a joke when a conversation goes deep, brushing it off when someone asks how you are, fixing your eyes on the ceiling when your throat tightens. These are your attempts to manage that moment. But every feeling you push down adds one more weight to the line. And here's the most painful part. Because you didn't cry in that moment, you think you're strong, but you've only postponed the bill. This has a reflection in your relationships too. People define you with 2 opposite poles. Some say never breaks down, solid as a rock. Others think cries at the most ridiculous thing. Both are looking at the same person, and both are wrong, because people looking from the outside can't see the accumulation in between. They only see those silent months and the unexpected explosion that follows. That's why it takes them years to truly truly understand you. And now, the thing you least expect. Contrary to what's assumed, you're not fragile. On the contrary, you're the one everyone runs to in a crisis, the one left standing. Because carrying doesn't mean not feeling, it means postponing. So who is actually the strong one? The one who feels nothing? Or the one who feels everything at their deepest and still stands tall? The next time your eyes fill up at an unexpected moment, don't get angry at yourself. Don't say, "Am I crying at this?" Just ask yourself one question. What have I piled up inside from everything I passed through this week without feeling? What problems have I stacked up inside like a mountain? The answer comes very quickly. And the moment you notice a feeling and accept it, it quietly leaves that waiting line. Your tears don't come at the wrong time. They just leak out at the first moment they find safe. If this video named that feeling you couldn't make sense of for years, join us and let's meet in the comments. Which of these 5 moments looks most like your story? I read every single one of your comments.